You found the sewer? Good. Let's wade through the filth together.
But I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences for you and your family.
Every time I see clips from Eyes Wide Shut, man, it don't even feel like a movie. Feels like Kubrick was showing us something real. And they say this is the one that cost him his life.
There's a new malware that automatically takes pictures of you through your webcam based on the websites you visit. It's called Stellarium, and it's designed for automated blackmail. According to security researchers, the malware monitors your browser. If it detects you're on a certain website that are, let's just say, not something you should be on at work, it triggers your webcam and silently takes your picture. At the same time, it takes a screenshot of exactly what's on your screen. It then sends both images directly to a hacker who has everything they need to try and extort you. This isn't a targeted attack, it's an automated system triggered by the sites you browse. And here's the most disturbing part. The code for this malware is publicly available for free on GitHub, where it's described as being for educational purposes only. This means anyone can download and use it.
Dude, this is straight out of Black Mirror. Best prevention? Slap a sticker or tape over your camera and move on.
What color was kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
Yeah, when you was in kindergarten or pre-K, what color was it?
Ooh.
It was every color.
Yeah, I was gonna say rainbow.
Yeah. Okay, now when you went to first to second grade, what color was it?
I don't know.
It was bland. Yeah. It was that color.
Yeah, it was just
like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Yeah.
It's waning you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, wane them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring, sit down, don't move. They just get you right out to spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody would go. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, it feel like you in the universe. It feel like you in the universe. So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color is Wendy's? What color is Chick-fil-A, McDonald's? Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value. Yeah. So this is people who literally socially engineer the world.
Instead of feeding our light, school starves it until we fit the system.
Y'all, if this ain't the weirdest, the craziest, the scariest, annoying sound right now in Pace, Florida, man, they just got woken up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to some crazy sound that's in the sky. They don't know what it is or where it's from. And y'all, when y'all hear this, y'all gonna be like, it's the sky screaming? The fuck? That ain't no normal sound. And it don't even sound like they working on something, construction, that loud. Who the hell the sky mad at? Nigga, he yelling at the ground? They also said it was residents that was saying that they seen strange lights coming from the ocean. Listen to this other one. This 2025, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a damn dinosaur. What if a dinosaur coming back? Bitch, not only that though, y'all, ain't no news report this, none of them. Santa Rose County, they said that this was caused by a tripped steam line. I ain't even know what that was. I gotta do a little search on that. If you in that area, if you in Florida, tap in with your boy, man. Let me know what they saying it is. Be safe. Do your search.
When you talk about the really dark criminal stuff that's going on in the earth, you're talking the Vatican. You're talking the Knights of Malta, which gave us the 6 men who founded the CIA in America, were all Catholics. When you begin to look at the banking fraternities in America, like the Bank of America, Union Bank in California, all of these people who founded these banks and today are running the banking establishment are all Knights of Malta, Catholic Masonry. You need to remember that for at least 2,300 years, Rome has dominated Europe. And the Vatican dominates all of Europe. All the kings and rulers in Europe rule by the divine right. What are you talking about? Who represents divine to give the king the right? The Pope. The Pope appoints certain families to be over the French. The Pope appoints certain people to be over the Germans and over the British. And so by divine right. Why? Because the Pope represents God.
Because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Carlin didn't just entertain, he exposed. That's why he still matters.
Recently, a comedian by the name of Reggie Carroll passed away in Cat Williams' home. And a lot of people are saying that it's very weird and very suspicious. Apparently, Cat Williams was not charged for the unaliving. It was actually his bodyguard who took the fall. And here's where it gets even weirder. Not long before this, Cat has started openly pledging his allegiance to the Brotherhood. You know, the Masons. And there are pictures of him throwing up the signs, showing that connection. Now, remember, Cat was one of the first comedians in the early 2000s calling out the industry, exposing how there were dark forces behind the scenes.
They used to say, will your president be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning to answer the phone if it rings? Shit, yeah, our president is up. Our president is a vampire. That motherfucker sent 23 tweets at 12:30. What the fuck is you talking about?
So the question is, did they get him back then? Did they make him swear to an oath? And was Reggie Carroll's death some kind of final initiation? It's hard to say for sure, but the timing, the cover-up, the symbolism is way too much to ignore. At the end of the day, I'm not pointing fingers, but something about Reggie Carroll's death in Cat Williams' home just does not sit right with me. But what do y'all think? Is it just a coincidence or something deeper?
That's a shame. You never truly know whose side these celebrities are on.
Do some scientific research and you'll discover that the idea that the Earth is like billions of years old is totally impossible, and the theory of evolution is not backed up by any scientific science whatsoever. The more you look into it, the more you realize that the King James Bible is 100% true, and according to the King James Bible, the Earth was created 6,000 years ago. Adam and Eve were the first humans, and they were created, and Satan is now trying to destroy every descendant of Adam and Eve. He will therefore have wiped out mankind, and that's what this transhumanism crap is about. Because when we start taking on elements of machines, we are no longer human, and Satan's done his job. He's wiped out all of Adam and Eve's descendants.
You're saying the whole of the universe can exist in one electron?
The Dalai Lama wrote a book called The Entire Universe in One Atom. And then when the three of us were invited, myself and Nassim Haramein and someone else were invited to speak with the Dalai Lama, he said, I want to know about your work. And I pushed Nassim forward. I said, tell him about your finding with it. And he said, I have this equation that proves what you wrote in your book 15 years ago. And he gave him the math of it, that the entire mass of the known universe, when reduced, take all the space out, it will fit inside one proton. What?
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. But it explains omniscience and omnipresence.
It explains everything. All points in space and time are connected. All things, the oneness of the creator, that everything is connected. Self-symmetry.
At a distance, everything.
Even what you're talking
about.
Entanglement. Yeah, talking about the imprint of the mass is the fingerprint of like the micro also. By working on healing yourself and healing and aligning your world, you heal the whole.
The Dalai Lama crossed a line once, and once was enough.
The internet has an expiration date. It's called the year 2038 problem, and it can break computers all over the world. You see, a ton of old systems keep track of time by counting seconds since January 1st, 1970. But they only use 32 bits of memory to do this. That means the clock runs out on January 19th, 2038 at 3:14 a.m. UTC. At that moment, the counter flips back to negative numbers. So what would happen is that systems that aren't patched would think that the date is December 1901. So imagine a hospital monitor, a banking system, or a flight software suddenly thinking it's in the wrong century. That could trigger crashes, data corruption, or total shutdowns. And we've actually been through something like this before, the Y2K bug. But this one's a little bit sneakier because it can hide in embedded devices like routers, elevators, industrial machines, things that people forget they need to update. We don't know how many systems are going to be vulnerable until the date gets closer. Some experts are saying the impact could be small, while others say it could cripple our critical infrastructure. So is the year 2038 problem the next Y2K panic, or the digital apocalypse that nobody's ready for?
Makes you wonder, how fragile is the whole system if a calendar can bring it down? And what if one of these times the glitch isn't just a dud, but the perfect cover for something else?
If you go to the hospital today and get an encephalogram, what's that? That's the memory of your conscious mind. It's on the CD. Let's download it on this being. Now we got a walking, talking duplicate that has the total memory that you have because we just took it off of your own mind.
Okay, it's like Blade Runner, the android.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The only thing is that it's like this DVD recorder. Sometimes you have glitches in it. So you have to have them tuned up occasionally or redone. And so we take them to Camp David, or there's a wing at Bethesda Hospital, to just tell you. If you go down there and check, you'll find the nurses, if they're willing to come forth, they'll tell you they work on those people, and they call them the others. I thought it was interesting. They're people. Remember, these people can think and act, but they don't have soul. That's also prophesized. Soulless beings.
That's true. That's true.
Have you ever seen anything that look really suspicious?
You might be at this concert chilling, and the big Illuminati boss might be standing right next to you out of nowhere. If I want to go this way, I can do it right now.
I was with Dave Chappelle. Introduced me to somebody.
The question
and they took me to a room.
Get your ass
there
back.
you go.
See?
They took me to a room and there was candles.
They can't fight the boogeyman, but if you say a name, they can fight that family.
But I was offered something and I just wasn't with it. But when they said, good luck, young man, you're on your own. And I never went platinum since.
Even rejecting their offer would be terrifying.
So remember that conspiracy theory where it was saying if you have organ donor on your card and you get into an accident, hospitals will either let you die or actually actively try to kill you to get your organs? Well, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It has just been confirmed by a new article in the New York Times, and it says a push for more organ transplants is putting donors at risk.
I have the craziest story to tell about this, but I gotta take you back in time. The year is approximately 2010. I just had finished watching. I remember I finished watching the movie 7 Pounds with Will Smith. And the movie 7 Pounds speaks about how there are 7 pounds of organs that you can donate, right? And the movie is amazing. It's a selfless movie. It's like, I cried, bro. I was really impacted by this movie. So I had to go to the DMV and get my license. So I went to the DMV. I filled out all the paperwork. When it got to the part of organ donor, I said, of course, Will Smith, I am legend, organ donor. Let's go, right? This is before Jada and the Entanglement and all of the rapping that he's doing right now. I wish he would go back to the movies. As I'm there, I'm standing online, and I go up, and the cashier is an older black woman, right? And the older black woman, she's reading through the document, the form, and she looks at me. And she's like, organ donor? I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, son, what I want you to do right now is I want you to go back to that seat over there. Take this pen and put no. You're not an organ donor. You're a big, beautiful black man. You should know better. You should know better. I said, So the conviction over me when she said that, I said, wait, what's going on? But she was like an older black woman, bro, like a motherly, grandmotherly role figure to me. Like, I don't even know this lady, but that's the energy she gave me. And I'm like, I'm gonna listen to what she says. So I go back and I do it, and then I'm feeling really conflicted. I'm like, yo, this lady doesn't want me to do a selfless act, bro. Like, this is crazy. So I go back, I'm gonna ask her. And I said, I fixed everything, ma'am. What did you say to put no for organ donor? Like, have you seen the movie 7 Pounds with Will Smith? She was like, they'll take your organs, my boy. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, they'll take your organs. They'll figure out a way and they'll take your organs. I know. And I'm like, all right, should I stay here for your picture and smile? And my picture, my face was like this for the picture. I'll even show you guys if I can find the old ID. I was like, I was shook.
Yeah, it's sad. Something pure, something selfless, twisted into leverage. And that woman, she's an angel. Proof there's still light, even down here in the sewer.
This is Martha Stewart, dude. Yeah, she is 83 years old. What is happening? Here she is 19 years ago, and here she is 2 years ago. And obviously, yes, but also how? And in case you thought that was a fluke, here's Martha Stewart again, thirst trapping in her 80s, and honestly, it's working. Same person, both Martha Stewart, and yeah, she looks great in this picture, but this one, dude, like, I'm hitting the link. Here's Martha Stewart, I believe this was in the 90s, and here she is today. Make it make sense, dude. I mean, other than a really good surgeon, obviously.
Martha Stewart at 84 showing off what's probably surgery, filters, and a glam team working overtime. And here's the thing, it's not just about her. Stuff like this keeps feeding that lie that if you don't look flawless at any age, you're somehow failing. In the internet era, we don't even know what's real or fake anymore.
I mean, if you're shorting American Airlines a week before 9/11, when no one knows it's coming, I think you should have to explain why you did that. And if you're shorting Barclays and banks that were affected by 9/11, why can't we know who you are? These are public markets, by the way. This is not private equity. This is publicly traded equities. I wonder about that. So clearly, yes, there was foreknowledge. By the way, there was a team, this is according to the FBI, this is the FBI saying, there was a team of clearly intel-connected foreigners who were arrested after 9/11, as you well know, videotaping the terror attacks. I'm almost verbatim quoting from the FBI assessment of this. And the FBI determined that they apparently had foreknowledge of the attacks. So why can't we know more about that? Exactly. Shut up! That's bigoted. No, this is my country.
Only poor people are held accountable. Every catastrophe gets swept under the rug when powerful people are involved.
The favorite part of being a conspiracy theorist has to be these ridiculous ones like birds aren't real, the fucking CIA is using pigeons in the Cold War. What?
The pigeon camera is one of our older artifacts where parts of the mission are actually still classified. But what I can tell you a little about is why we chose this animal and how it was deployed. The CIA can learn a lot from reconnaissance photography, and with planes like the U-2 and the A-12 and satellites like Corona in the sky, the CIA had a window into a whole new world of intelligence. But unfortunately, those planes are taking photographs from incredible heights. So if we wanted to get into a target area with more detail, the CIA was going to have to get creative and return to the animal kingdom again. CIA's Office of Research and Development created a camera small and light enough to be carried by a pigeon. With the camera attached to its breast, the pigeon would fly over a target area on its return home. With the pigeon being a common species, it was able to conceal itself as an intelligence collection platform among thousands of other birds. Pigeon imagery is taken from hundreds of feet above the target, whereas planes like the A-12 and the U-2 were taking photographs from tens of thousands of feet, and satellites like Corona were miles above the target. The pigeon camera allowed the CIA to have a much more detailed view of what was going on in an area. The camera could begin taking pictures immediately upon release, or it could have a preset delay. The camera took a series of images at a set interval, and there was actually a small battery-operated motor that advanced the film and cocked the shutter.
If they could disguise a camera as a bird back then, imagine what they can hide today.
But one of the most astonishing discoveries was that, at various moments in the video, the presence of a belt around the middle section of the sphere could be seen. This finding was confirmed thanks to a second recording of the same object obtained by another witness present at the sighting location. Although this second recording was brief, just 13 seconds long, it provided relevant information, as it made it possible to establish that the sphere levitated very close to the person recording. Additionally, this second video confirmed an extraordinary discovery. By freezing a frame and zooming in, we were able to identify that the sphere features a belt in its equatorial zone, with the same characteristics as the one observed on the so-called Buga sphere, which descended in that town on April 7, 2025. When observing the comparison, there is little doubt about the extraordinary similarity. We can propose that this demonstration was carried out to let us know that these spheres truly have the ability to levitate. As always, you have the final opinion.
And that's the problem. Maybe it's real, maybe it's fake. With AI and editing, who can tell? And that's today's dose from the sewer. Catch you in the next one.